Yes, yes! Come on, let's go rub it in. Let's go rub it in. Rez, they want it. Yeah, let's leave him be. Let's leave him be. Yes!
Yes! Let's go! BDS in the house! Playing like gods on the Rift. As soon as Picks and Ban started, Rez saw the Taliyah, the Cassandra, the Yono. He put on his eagle outfit, and he was so convinced that Team BDS were going to get dumpstered by this draft.
I saw it.
I saw the Cassandra. I saw Gori's Yone.
Let's talk about the draft a little bit more seriously now. A little surprising. I think from BDS, the casters mentioned explicitly, scaling, team fights. We weren't expecting a lot early. Raz, I'm going to come to you first. What do you make of Golden Guardian's very first draft, and then how poorly they played around that early game?
To be frank, I actually did like BDS.
Exactly.
We were talking about it. I was like, Ori, Maokai. The moment the Yone gets locked in and you see the immediate Maokai Rakan, I was like, okay, team fight's going to be a little bit difficult. We're going to play through side lanes, but we're good at playing through side lanes, so at least we can try for that. We did. I know you said team fights. We didn't even get the team fights.
And I don't know. I think that a lot of people will look at this game as a stomp and maybe expect that the rest of this game will go this way, or the rest of the series. Yeah. I also think it's too early. I think Golden Guardians opened themselves up to get punished as well. Melee mid laner against the Maokai. The power picks you gave over on this patch as well. Like Renekton into Cassandra, you're still super happy about that trade. If you don't get kills, you get plates. Orianna on this patch after the buffs, perfect. Maokai, Rakan on 4. The only one that looks a bit uncomfortable into it is like a Sivir, but the rest of the map got so far ahead early, and Golden Guardians, well, they just couldn't play it with this draft. It looked a bit... Well, play-ins last year with a Mumu coming in, and it's just like, all right, this is going to be the champion.
Listen, I want to move us along. I want you to keep talking about this early game draft, because I know when we were watching it, and the caster said as well, maybe anticipating like slower start from BDS, but they just found so many early kills. Gulborg, let's talk through some of Sheo's early game decision making, and then explicitly just how much he was able to stomp mid lane.
Oh, absolutely. I actually thought that Sheo and Nuke was going to be a weaker lane coming into this series, especially because they kind of slumped going into summer, right? Like, we did not see the same signs of Sheo, but I gotta say, he had a fantastic game, this one in the early game, where he paps around the early ward you can see on the Raptors. He started topside, went Raptors, went all the way back, so Gori wasn't even ready for him. He thought he was going to be getting the bot side, and then they just kept punishing Gori again and again and again. And while Gori is trying to take agency on the Yone, where he's trying to look for kills, Sheo's just always there behind, and River's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he's struggling here. And even it wasn't even just Sheo as well. You got to see Labrov go through mid lane. They were punishing Gori constantly here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, holding on to that flash for too long, even pulling in Taliyah into the mix. And I know we're going pretty ahead of this one, but Taliyah, specifically, River, had a really rough early game. Was getting caught out in wards constantly. Blue Trinket showcasing him looking for a play top lane. So great roam from Adam. You actually talked about this coming into the day. The fact that when we see priority come through from Adam's lane, he oftentimes bleeds that into the mid lane, and he did that there successfully.
Cool, well, just to interrupt, we're seeing the players' faces right now. Obviously, Team BDS, when they sat down, quite jovial, quite light. On the Golden Guardian side, a lot of focused faces, a lot of stress faces right now. I want to just reiterate and double down on what you were saying as well. I don't think the way Game 1 played out is indicative of what's going to happen the rest of this. I think Golden Guardians can play better. We've seen it. I think they can draft better as well. So I'm expecting them to bounce back. Let's continue talking about Game 1. As you can see, Licorice there, I think he's a little nervous. Let's talk about some of these vision plays before you get into this. I'm trying to read into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're that nervous, I'll be honest. I think they're going to bounce back. They've been in a position like this before as well. But yeah, I also just think that the vision control that BDS decided to gain for themselves afterwards, you can see it in this instance right here, they're so far ahead. Objective bounties are up. The reason why I wanted to highlight this is just because one of the reasons why BDS did so well in spring was because of their Drake stacking, because of how well they prioritized it. Then they started sucking at it in summer, but now they're really over-prioritizing it. Again, this is 1 minute before the Drake spawns, if not more, and they're using every resource to make sure that there's no way the Golden Guardians can come back into this. Because you look at their comp, you look at Golden Guardians, they still have some Hail Mary teamfight potential where maybe they get an Ori or Sivir, but here they're just completely preemptively making sure that even if they come in, they are aware of everything and can out-teamfight it.
By this point as well, they're what, 4,500, 5,000 1,000 gold up. I mean, it was an 9,000 gold lead, but 21-minute game. So they had that additional resource to invest as well. I just like the fact they're not forgetting that for BDS, which is one of the younger teams here at the Theoretical World Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I started today talking about the Golden Guardians coaching staff. You have to talk about the coaching staff for BDS, led by Goto1. The fact that they really prioritize the vision control on the bot side of the map, especially recognizing Gori, who's already far behind, has to go and pick up waves bot lane, cannot even get anywhere near past the river because they BDS has mid control, constantly dipping into fog, going towards bot lane, pushing them off the wave. So they were just making Golden Guardians bleed. So we gave you guys confidence for the first game. Hopefully game 2 is a little bit better.
Hopefully for you, bro. Okay, we got about 3 minutes before we get to picks and bans for game 2. Let's talk about Sheo and Neeko specifically. Coming into the day, Sheo and Neeko were the players that, especially Goldborg and I were talking about, or looking at maybe one of the concerns. We were memeing about Adam and Licorice, and Adam just frankly styled on Licorice that game. So let's take a look at some of the stats. I think we do have a focus here on Sheo and Neeko, if I recall correctly, but Raz, let's talk about the problem players for Golden Guardians who we expect to bounce back. I can also let you know Golden Guardians have selected blue side for game number 2. Okay. So yeah, we've got the post-game breakdown. GBR comes
to okay, let's put that down.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it right here, but you can see the damage curve as well. Like, Gori only took 2k damage. It was impossible for him to play the game as well, but really just this mid-jungle duo really showing up together. I think going into the next draft, the Taliyah first pick is probably what's going to be swapped around. Maybe you're looking at something more simple, like a Maokai again, or something where it's more playable around, because there is really no good gang patterns for you to find here. And you even showed the early game where pretty much every lane was pushed in by
Less than a minute.
BDS.
Final comments from Raz.
It won't be like this again.
Okay, give me, what are your things you want to see changed as we're about to go to casters and go into draft?
I think mages are really good. So if we see Syndra Orianna matchup or Azir, something, I think he's a amazing Azir player, Gori. So I think we would see something a little bit different there.
Final thoughts?
No, I just think this is a perfect meta for BDS right now. Dacta was talking about it in the cast too, and I'm hoping we see more from them.
We're going to find out. We'll find out what Golden Guardians do to bounce back in game number 2. As we head over to the casters, Mark, I got a quick question for you. I wasn't sure. Do Gori and River have family in Korea? I'm not sure if they do, because I think Team BDS are trying to send them home early, give them some extra time with, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, whoever's around. What do you think, Mark?
Don't answer that, Mark.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back. Looking forward to game 1. I'm looking forward to game 1 of the series. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. BDS versus GG. It's going to be an incredible match. I can't wait to see how they go in game 1.
It's hard. It's a difficult thing here. You're watching the Copium manifest here.
Yeah.
1 in 5 NA fans.
Just going to slowly step away from reality. It's over here, and I don't like reality, so I'm going to step over here.
Yeah.
Where we did not just lose in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately, for all fans involved, as much as it's cathartic for EU fans to just watch BDS smash in game 1, we're hoping for something a little bit more competitive here in game 2. And I think for Golden Guardians, it would feel terrible to play a series at this level and immediately go home. So on an empathetic level, I just want to see more from them so they can at least be like, hey, we gave it our all.
Yeah, I think it's worth going back to what Raz is saying, is go towards your control mages mid. I actually started looking at these ears and the Syndras and that kind of stuff, because I think when you look to the last one, the Yone just wasn't working out. I think early ganks, the 3 camp into the gank mid kind of caught Gori off guard, but at least if you have a control mage, it's a bit easier to manage that rather than the melee champion where you just got to go in and you're going to keep going down.
Yeah, I think there's the kind of more heads-up awareness plays that you want to clean up, of course, but I also think the bigger and more egregious one was the second death, where he gets out with his ultimate, walks back up, eats Orianna's ultimate, flashes late, and gets killed by an auto attack in the air. And those are the kinds of mistakes where you can't afford those. It's like, okay, Sheo did a gank I wasn't ready for, fair enough, but I kept my flash. And then you get the more repeatable mistakes later on. Those are the ones I think for Golden Guardians fans and North American fans, you want to see those cleaned up first and foremost, as well as adaptations to the draft and all the things that they were talking about.
Yeah, and you have to hope that the mental is strong and unaffected from the side of Golden Guardians. You can see who he looks mostly unfazed. But when you're, as an individual player, when you make back-to-back mistakes like that, we often hear about players talk how you get in the hole, you start to doubt yourself. And I think if Gori wants to stick to these more aggressive, arguably more flashy picks like the Yone, then you need to still have that confidence in yourself and just recognize where you just made an objectively bad choice.
Yeah, and I think that's where you have to try and lean that in towards stopping the BDS show, which is, hey, we want to go for dragons, we want to set ourselves up for these late game fights, and if you have that control coming from the mid lane, it makes it so much easier to go for. So I want to see that mid jungle that was touted about for Golden Guardians actually step up to the mark here.
Here we are, picks and bans. Once again, the Rumble will be taken away. It seems to be a mainstay for BDS. Do not want to deal with it on the top side, but this time Renekton will also be taken off the board instead of the Olaf as it was in Game 1. Everything else thus far remaining the same in bans.
Yeah, no real changes coming through. I think if you're I mean, if you're BDS, you're pretty happy with the last one, right? You're not under too much threat. There wasn't really anything that you looked at and said, oh yeah, that's the big difference maker. But immediately, both solo laners going to be taken away here by the side of Golden Guardians.
Yeah, basically sticking to the ban what just won against them strategy that we were talking about before.
Hey, you called it. You were a coach.
Yeah, at one point in time. Many years ago.
To be fair, I think that it's weird to exist in a world where Orianna is so powerful because for the last like 5 years we've seen Orianna. She's been stable. She's been good in specific matchups, but she hasn't been powerful. I think on this patch, it's very likely that she is just objectively one of the S-tier picks.
And I think it's something, too, where you shouldn't be surprised. You've seen the buffs coming multiple times. People have been talking about this champion as rising in priority.
5 times this year she's been buffed.
Yeah, so that's not too much of a surprise. We'll see what they have else in the tank, because like we said for BDS, that was not an extremely weird draft. It was pretty standard across the board, and the nice thing about standard is you can swap in the SS Orianna pick for the Azir next, or whatever else that you want to move down the chart a little bit. So it's easier for them. For Golden Guardians, we want to see bigger adaptations. Not so far with the Taliyah first pick slammed again.
Yeah, I'm curious to see exactly what they do decide to go for in the mid lane. Like, there could be something like the Sindra coming through from Nuke, or we end up going back towards Azir. But Ezreal going to be taken for Crownie. Ezreal's really strong at the moment. Like, genuinely, he's very, very strong. So I'm not fully surprised to see it coming through. You can go for the Triforce. You even go for the press the attack in lane if you want to play that more aggressive style in lane. But Ezreal is definitely one of the premier picks at the moment. I mean, I'll have to see now if Crownie can try and have that moment.
Stixxay, is he going to lock in the Kalista? This would be a bold bet, but I like it. Something aggressive for the bottom side of the map certainly allows huhi to make plays as well. I'm going to think back to like 2016 Stixxay, Kalista.
Yeah, there was a meta where he was pretty good. It was Caitlyn Kalista.
When huhi used to play a different role.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make it work. I think it's also possibly getting pushed in over and over again and just being like, we want more agency, we want more things to do in the bot side. I think also there's something to say about sticking with your guns. If you've played a lot of Taliyah and scrims, it was one of your best performing champions. Yes, you got slammed on it. I know everyone's going to be like, Taliyah again! But if this is what you've had a lot of success on, I don't think you should throw it out when so many other things went wrong in that game immediately. And that's why you also see them kind of going back to the Cassante.
Okay.
Garen, all right, so this is some of the stuff we were talking about where BDS starts flexing.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to learn today, Mark. You're going to learn today. I hope, maybe. Ooh, I'm always nervous. I want to pretend like I have full faith in this pick. I don't. I'm nervous.
You have the momentum. You can go as hard as you want right now.
This is where they bring out the Yuumi, and you got Ezreal Yuumi and Garen Yuumi.
Oh my God.
But seriously,
Reckless is behind them, like the spirit of him.
The original love triangle. Garen, Ezreal, Yuumi. Yeah. How do you resolve it? Nobody knows.
But yeah, no, I think this is kind of a case of like, yes, it's good into the matchup. You're a bit of a lane buddy, but it is an Adam special. He's already brought out before, so I am curious to see how well it'll do. But at least you've already got the setup there for him with the Maokai as well for a team fight. So, and it kind of fits the same idea as Renekton of, hey, we want to try and play aggressive on that top side.
Sure, and I think that this is this point where the Ezreal, regardless of meta strength, also makes more for the composition. If they want to support in taking double combat sums top side, put more attention top side, and set him up to try to find more pressure in lane, Crownie can do whatever he wants on Ezreal, and he'll be fine bottom side if left alone.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though, because kind of going back to Mark's point earlier on, they're not convinced this Cassante is going towards the top side. You see the Jax ban coming through, they're like, hey, look, we are aware that they're willing to flex this towards Gori in the mid lane. So at least at the moment, still BDS aren't entirely sure exactly what the game plan is.
Yeah, it has, to be fair, been a while since Cassante was very popular flexing mid after a couple of the rounds and Nurse came through. Yeah, but so it is still an option. I think they're just more worried about Jax directly into the Garen as well. We'll see what they want to go with here because, like you said, Ezreal just on his own, being able to chill, pew-pew from the backline while you have a bunch of melees going in. And I love them protecting Nuke for the last pick here, see what's going to come through.
It is definitely a solid question. What is the angle going to be? Cassio in general obviously has historically been a comfort pick. Outranged a bit by the Taliyah would be difficult, but limits a lot of what Kalista can do.
I think that's a nice thing, though, is that you are on red 5 here, so you got to get to see exactly what's happening with the Golden Guardian side. I wouldn't be fully surprised to see the Taliyah still going into the jungle. The Neeko picked up. I know some players have been experimenting with Neeko support, but I imagine this is going to go in towards the mid lane. It does mean, though, you're quite AP heavy in your mid jungle, which isn't ideal, so I'm curious to see if maybe it is a bit of a mix-up with the Neeko.
Well, we got 10 seconds to find out. Huhi is someone who does love to pick up new champions and play them. As we see a Taliyah going mid, it is the Neeko support in Bel'Veth jungle. This is a champion that a lot of people have been hyped on. She's been buffed quite a bit, has a strong early game for people, and something that we haven't seen in competitive too much, though. Europe did, I think, experiment a lot more with it in Spring Split than some other regions.
Yikes specifically played a huge amount of it, but I'm curious to see how this goes, right? Because it feels now like you've got good control over bot side, like good pushing lane there with the Neeko and the Kalista, going to be very annoying to deal with. Taliyah has good control here if it is going to be the Azir, so you've actually got a lot of opportunities for this Bel'Veth to try and get in and be a menace for Sheo on this Maokai.
And the way that this combo works with the Kalista Neeko, you can obviously time it in such a way that there's almost no interaction.
Double knockup,
yeah, you get the double knockup. It's very difficult to deal with. I also like in support position, you know, it's rare unless you're very fed to get 2 full mage items. So even if we expect something like an Everfrost, it's hard to get the Zhonya's, and Kalista balances some of that out by giving you more tankiness. I really like what GG have drafted. I think that this is interesting. I think it gives them a ton of agency bot lane. Neeko is so frustrating to lane against bot lane because of her ability to harass you behind the minion line. But also, the last comp was cool, and it went terrible.
Yeah, you're like, I like this Golden Guardians draft. I'm like, I'm pooping my pants. This is scary to see them try and pull this off. It looks weird. We haven't seen a ton of it. We are, like we said, on 13-19 for the first time. Maybe this ends up being the meta. Maybe, but on the flip side, we saw, you know, like we said, just moving down the tier list 1, you go Orianna to Azir. You keep the same basic team comp.
We have to make a new section. There are picks that we believe are good for the entirety of play-ins. Will there be a new section that is, there are picks that we believe are entirely good for just for WQS? Will one of these champions be that champion? And there you go. Wait, this is confusing. That's a Cloud9 hat and a BDS diff sign. That man needs to pick a side.
Sir, what are you?
Look, he wins either way. He's just, you know, it's
I'm
like,
having a good time.
Yeah, I hope both teams have fun.
I hope
Gearing up now, ready to get in the game. Adaptation again. I love the Golden Guardians are out here trying things, still trying to throw some haymakers in the draft, really mix it up. Obviously still stability from the side of BDS. The big difference is Adam on the top side, double combat sums on the Garen, phase rush, flash, ignite. He's here to kill people, and that worked pretty well in game 1. We'll see if Golden Guardians can weather that storm.
Yeah, Licorice is definitely going to need a bit of a happier time up there. It wasn't looking so hot, but at least this time around, if you get these early teleport plays, you might have a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, we will see if they can do it off. And here's some of those level 1s that we were talking about. Adam is down on the bot side of the map looking to sprint at someone early on, help get some vision down if they can find an early pick off here. Stixxay playing respectfully, does spot it, pings it out. But this is the stuff you got to be aware of when you play BDS. I think people talk about them being predictable because you know that they are willing to do level 1s, and you know that Adam does have these champions that he'll splash into. But that's not really like an exploitable predictable. It's like, I know you're going to do something weird, but I don't know what it is. It's like, that doesn't actually help you prepare for it necessarily. And I think that sometimes people who have this idea of opting into Stranger Things frequently, it's not actually predictable. You just know that this team will do those things.
Yeah, it's almost a reminder that you need to focus more on what you're doing and try to shore up any holes in that, as Mystic Shot's already connecting.
Go next. It's over. It's 2.
Which Kalista took it.
I'm so glad Kleptomancy isn't in the game anymore, so you see that gold bag pop up and you're like, damn it.
We've lost lane. Or the red pot.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, so River going to pull the Raptors. Bit awkward, obviously, at the level 1. River going to be much stronger. Forecast to the queue if you get the spacing right. And this is a bit awkward overall, as Nuka's going to get pushed in by the Taliyah level 1 as well.
Yeah, exactly. The mid lane, Gori should be able to get the shove and support his jungler faster. So I think both these guys are just going to stare at each other and see who can maybe get the smite down.
I will say, though, the longer this lasts, like, Sheo does more with less levels, right? So as long as they stand here, Sheo's like, oh, this is actually all right. Like, I'm not the one that needs to do well and scale quickly.
Yeah, Gori and River down to get crazy, though. So if you guys want to have a staring contest and the winner goes game 3, you know, there you go.
I think that the argument for doing this for River, even if you're the champion who values the farm more, is, 1, you're clear in isolation without a couple abilities is going to be stronger. And additionally, your lanes are winning right now. You have mid, top, and bot prio. And if the jungler can't play the game, this is so funny because right now, NA jungler is doing this to us, but in 2018 Vitality, a guy named Mowgli did this to everyone. We have a name, it's called psychopathing. You show up and you say, I'm going to fight you at every camp. Neither of us will play the game. Let's see whose laners are better.
Is it pathing if you don't move? Can you call it jungling if you're actually just camping?
Okay, the Q connects. The
smite comes through. I think that was the big one. Wait for the smash so that you can actually clear the camp before Maokai just takes everything. But yeah, he gets the camp. You'll see Sheo going to move down towards this bottom side. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yes, the lanes are going to get the push for Golden Guardians. And I think that's what realistic is. You're saying River trying to wait for there.
Yeah, so
he's going again.
Wow, he's keeping the aggression up. Doesn't actually do any of his camps. He wants to meet Sheo at level 1 and try and kill him before he can get this next camp down.
Ooh, level 2 just barely coming through, flashing out to safety, but River owns the jungle right now. You can already see bot lane moving up, fake Bel'Veth waiting in the wings, and well, Sheo was a problem in the previous game, keeping it standard, and he's not going to get that opportunity this time around. River completely dominating the jungle. There's the NA fans. Shout out to you.
Yeah, I don't know what that sign says, but I'm sure it's great. I got to say, this is a very different change of pace, even for River, regardless of game 1 to game 2 that we just saw. River usually is more lane-focused, but he is someone who can always change things up. While he is mostly known for engaging and tank play and supportive play style, he is also a great carry player. There are times where he has moved into those champions and actually executed very well on them. And so that's what's cool to see here is it's actually River shutting the enemy jungler down and being really in his face.
Yeah, I'm curious to see now how he tries to continue, because he could try and take this. Like, I know his red buff is up, but I wouldn't be surprised to him try and contest on. Yeah, I was going to say move topside, contest this Scuttle Crab, and then try and clear your full way back down towards that bottom half of the map. Just make things as awkward as possible for Sheo.
I also like getting up here to get close to Adam as the level 6 gets closer, because I think this is with the early prio that the K'Sante had. The bigger concern is at level 6 with Ignite, the ultimate coming down and just blowing you up, and River being able to make sure that Adam can't abuse the passive and sit in lane and actually probably force a recall teleport.
Flash in, the root's still going to connect. Labrov now dashing out to safety, will make it away. But flash burned, traded. Double sums for 1 though. See what Golden Guardians can do with the pressure. Overall, though, I think the draft adaptation paying off, leveraging their early lane priority very well. But Sheo, not one to just concede things quietly. We'll try to go for the steal here. At least going to force the smite out to make sure that he can get the Scuttle Crab. And Adam playing for tempo. That's a Hillisang classic, his former support. Just walk up and ignite so they cancel the recall.
Yeah, I mean, Wave also pushing out as Labrov. Just going to Hex Patch over the wall, but I think curious to see K'Sante, Licorice stuck around the top side, and Sheo still up on this top end.
Knock up going to hit onto huhi. Decent poke damage back. Crownie has to be careful about extending the trade here, though. That Kalista damage is lethal. Adam spinning, but that's level 6 for Licorice. Pulling him back. Sheo in the area, though. Is Licorice stuck around for a little bit too long? No. Level 6 for K'Sante. Should be fine in the trade thus far. Sheo doesn't really have the damage yet. Only level 3. This man's just chopping the trees down. He's a lumberjack, and he's looking for 2. Adam blinking, but he will walk away. But here comes Gori finding redemption in game 2 as GG are on the board.
Golden Guardians bounce back after a disastrous game 1. Topside going much better for Licorice there, being able to 2v1, force sums out. Just a little bit of greed from Adam not hitting 6 as the slow pushing wave meant that he was trying to clear these creeps out to get it, I think, but just not able to finish enough of them off. You have Sheo having to bail him out there, and then getting himself caught out of position because he lost that flash earlier on to River.
Yeah, you can see even there, I think he was trying to smite to hit the level 4, get something there for himself, but doesn't quite hit it. And then good roam from Gori, hitting 6. You look at where Nuki is on the map, he's already gone for the reset, so perfect timing there for Golden Guardians.
I think he smoked to try to give Adam 6, but I think Adam was either out of range or didn't quite give him enough XP.
I think there was maybe a potential there if Adam had stuck around in the creeps a little bit more, but it would have been very dicey, and either way, Golden Guardians are able to find that 2-0.
And regardless, this is a difficult position to be in because then, again, Garen is a champion who you want to get these advantages on, can take over a game, and we talked about K'Sante being nerfed, but if K'Sante gets a lead, K'Sante is still K'Sante. Yeah. Incredibly disruptive, hard to deal with. For Sheo and Adam, if they don't have enough damage, they are not going to be able to do anything to stop this champion.
Here's the Adam Classic coming down to mid lane.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well is, like, because you end up with Sheo being put so far behind, he's not going to be able to hit 6 for, like, Rift Herald in a minute's time, which actually helps out, because now you got Licorice, who's got fed, Gori's in a good spot. I think you are in a pretty good opportunity here for Golden Guardians to try and snowball this lead.
I think this is closer to what we were talking about with game 1. So even though, you know, as a North American fan, great, we are 2-0, we have a 2K gold lead early on, this is fantastic. This is kind of the stuff we're talking about, though, where now you look at the scaling and you go, okay, yeah, front-to-back team fights later in the game, we're very short range, we have a lot less damage, we have to actually execute.
Adam, wandering, going on a walkabout, is now going to walk away. Just Garen things. What was he there for? What did he do? Why? Questions we may never have the answer for.
He's been a
Aliens.
homie. He's setting up the plate for Nuke. Come on, he's been such a good guy. What do you mean?
Alrighty. Here we are. Just a brief pause to contemplate our lives. Think about everything that was going wrong. Wonder again why Adam was there. And Adam now going to be in trouble because here comes River, another knock up. The silence not going to be enough. The play now continuing. Adam, it looks like, will walk away.
So while we are having a little bit of issues, I think here, the game is still going on and we can see it. So Adam is actually living through this situation so far.
Adam just trying to hold on to that W. What is he doing? Why is he still here?
Wasting time.
Pushing back, looking for the 1v1 versus Gori. Gori trying to get out with that threaded volley. Good damage now poking back. Neeko has to be careful about dashing in. River there to cover. This game, not only is it closer overall, it's incredibly scrappy. Level 8 to level 6 is looking like a diffie in the tiffy, boys.
I will say, during this time period, he has forced River to kind of waste time in mid and top lane, and it gave space for BDS's bot lane to try and recover a little bit. You can see there, Golden Guardians forced back because River was just captivated on everything happening in the top side.
Yeah, I think River is going to immediately move over towards this Rift Tail. It's given Sheo a bit of time to catch back up, but Adam being this slow with Licorice having knockback.
Oh, the knockback hits, the dash out to safety. Always have to be careful when Adam has the ulti up and available, but he's just getting lower and lower. The ult now comes up. Licorice is feeling confident, unstoppable. Turret shot! Whoa! Gets the trade back. Adam no TP, though. He's going to lose a decent amount there, but the wave actually coming through just in time to make sure that he does not.
They're all going to back away. At least 1 for 1 in that top side. Golden Guardians, though, in a significantly stronger position now to move over, because as you said, TP for Licorice as he comes back up. So this should be GG getting the first Herald on the game.
Yeah, they're going to lose Huhi's flash in the mid lane. I'm not quite sure what went down there, but he did indeed try to make a play on Nuke during all of that. Did not matter, though, because they have pressure in the top side, like you guys said, so going to be able to grab this Rift Herald very easily. And we like this wide shot that we can try to go to when things are going down. Yeah. You can still see it on your screen there. Rift Herald grabbed up by Golden Guardians. And this is, I think, closer to what a lot of people were worried about for some of these matchups where River can get really aggressive and Adam, his plays are cool, but sometimes they backfire and you end up massively behind.
Yeah, and I think good to see from Golden Guardians that when they have this lane prio, that they're not playing scared, that they are making these big plays. Adam does manage to get the 1-for-1, doesn't lose too much CS in the process, so that actually works out pretty well, but this is also kind of, if you're a BDS fan, this is the other face of Adam that we see so often, where he, once he's behind, sacrifices lane advantages even more to be annoying, frankly, whether it's wandering mid as a Scion or a Malphite, sometimes at level 5, which isn't great, but definitely for Golden Guardians, you feel pretty good after that game 1 to look at that massive difference in gold on the top side of the map.
Because it's not only just the CS, excuse me, sorry, it's also the fact you've gotten 3 turret plates now without a Herald in that top side. So Golden Guardians have an opportunity if they want to just roam up there, throw the Rift Herald down and get that first tower, but honestly, I kind of prefer what they're doing here, which is, hey, look, if we can try and open up Gori on the map, like create a long lane in mid, we now have a ton of opportunities to try and use this Weaver's Wall to actually get access to side lanes.
Yeah, I think Licorice is far enough ahead. 1,500 gold, fantastic. Exactly. Let's start getting some of our more damage-focused backline carries ahead. So if Stixxay can get this gold, like you said, or mid lane to break that open and start unlocking a Taliyah would be great. So we'll see what they try and do, because Licorice is going to finish off this turret just fine on his own, getting some dirty farming in there as Adam doing what he can.
Yeah, we'll just do his best to pick up the CS, clear through the wave quite quickly. Bit tricky. Could suffer on the long lane, especially now that the Iceborne has come through. Adam, I assume we'll be going for the Stride Breaker here, but see if there's any adaptation given the massive deficit that he is in at this stage of the game. And just across the board, checking in, obviously all of the gold difference essentially at this stage is Licorice, more or less. The rest of the lanes, relatively close. Decent CS lead for the Bel'Veth, the only exception. So top really is the strong point for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, and I think on the opposite side for BDS, you kind of have to find a way to try and shut this down. Like, give yourself time for Azir to come online, for Crownie to hit 2 items. But the problem is, we already kind of highlighted at the start of the game, like, all lanes are winning lanes at the moment for Golden Guardians. Like, Gori has push, Licorice is monstrous, Stixxay and Huhi are still keeping a lot of control over that bottom side. So finding opportunities to slow this down isn't there, especially with this next dragon up, and already the rest of Golden Guardians are moving into position.
That's exactly where I was about to go next. The Golden Guardians are on top of the dragon timings here. You're starting the stack and going to make sure that BDS cannot just comfortably scale through the whole time.
Oh, he knows! This man can count minions! He counts so damn good! I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he knew.
They teach counting in school in Europe, apparently.
There it is.
Saw that one coming.
Un, deux, trois, whatever 4 is in French. Got him.
I'm actually curious, because like, there's obviously the scoreboard trick where you can hold up the scoreboard, and if Neeko is visible but you don't see her on the map, you're like, she is a minion. So I'm curious if someone was like looking at the scoreboard going,
or
look,
if the second
Neeko's
he saw
somewhere.
The 4th melee, he just knew
was
one
like,
of them was there and fished for it.
Yeah, I mean, Huhi also has been doing this over and over in the bot side. We saw earlier him trying to dodge a Mystic shot like that, and this is a bit of a disaster as we were just hyping up the Golden Guardians game plan of dragon stacking online. Here we go, and then boom, your support drops in the mid lane, gives a free dragon to BDS to stall out on that, and now you get the Chemtech Soul.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Most certainly. I think the awkward thing there is just, did Huhi need to make that play? Could they have just had dragon control?
We don't ask those kinds of questions.
But clearly keen to get something done there.
Can is the question. Should? Doesn't exist.
All right. The answer was also no. So, bit of a tricky one there. But credit to Golden Guardians, even though they do lose that, they get some use the Herald on the bottom side. Again, top lane's already good. Don't need to use the Herald there. Now, though, the dash into safety. Nuke still winning this trade. Gori playing incredibly risky here. Has no one in the area. Nuke, of course, not feeling confident enough to flash in or over-pursue in that trade. As Golden Guardians, once again, just trying to contest in the jungle. Blue buff will go over to Sheo, though.
During that time, Licorice drops the top side of the turret. I do like Nuke here kind of recognizing that they need to do something to stop this slow Golden Guardians creep of advantages. The Goldie continues to grow despite that mistake in the mid lane. And Nuke here getting Prio back against Gori, getting him low, at least stops the Taliyah from comboing with the others pushing side lanes. And I think that's actually really nice to see out of him, recognizing I've got to play more aggressive here than maybe I ideally want to. I can just sit back and farm.
Yeah, it also made it a little bit tough for the Golden Guardians push into the jungle as well. But yeah, I mean, looks like just immediately saw the fourth was like, I'm impressed he knew immediately that it was the first one, but I suppose technically those two waves want to meet in the middle of the lane, right? So you see the first one, it's like, oh, this is off.
Sometimes the replays are a little bit finicky, but the minion positioning when you watch it back, that minion is slightly out of position.
Yeah.
So he did not practice the minion march before making that play in the mid lane. It did look a little bit more apparent in the replay than I think it did initially. So regardless, good on Nuke to sniff it out. Does not get them out of the hole at this stage. Still a pretty massive gold lead for Golden Guardians. Mid was already ahead. Balanced out now by the fact that Nuke obviously was able to pick up that kill, but still a small lead for Gori and a massive lead for Licorice on the top side. Adam going for the Stride Breaker as expected, but what is he actually going to be able to do, or is he going to just be trapped under this tower most of the game?
I do like this kind of lane setup here, though, where Licorice has been a bit of a problem for Adam, so you keep Adam in the top side to go up against Gori, while Licorice has moved down to the bot side, and you leave Nuke there to just try and wave clear against him. We'll see if he has any more success just holding on to turrets than Adam was having.
Yeah, even just clearing the wave out before it hits the tower, because that seemed to be the big one, is Licorice just having that demolish, making it very, very tough. But again, it gives River the opportunity to just get us in, be a nuisance against Sheo, like steal away his topside camps. Looks like you're going to try and respond here by BDS on this bottom side. And might even maybe look for something on Licorice, but I think at this stage he's too far ahead to really try and contest for some sort of dive or anything.
No, I think this is just good map split play by BDS. You know that Adam is your weak side of the map. You're kind of giving that over as he has to burn his flash to survive there. You're sacking your top side. Adam still playing up as he does, but during that time, the rest of BDS getting things down the bot side of the map.
The problem is, though, that they're moving people like Crownie up to try and facilitate that and make sure that Adam is going to be okay, which now gives up your mid control as well for Rift Herald that's going to be coming up. So even though it's like, oh, Adam kind of like being a bit cheeky, it is costing them, and even Sheo there trying to cover that mid wave now has to burn his flash.
Could be tricky in the fights to come as well. Looks like Huhi's going for Proto Belt, so more of an aggressive option than the CC of an Everfrost, or a defensive option like the Hourglass, so they imagine that could be the second item regardless. Setup is there. Herald should be taken care of. You can't really contest a Kalista here, but BDS might fish for it anyway. The spears are there, the wall now comes out. They need to decide what side they want to be on. Labrov leaping out to safety, jungler locked up. The support pulled back by the Fate's call, and the objective will be secured. River has the upgraded form now. As Licorice has been caught out and taken down. Labrov fishing for the engage, but the CC will deny it for now. Has to be careful. BDS will walk away. They do not get the objective, but they do get the free kill. Licorice taken out of the equation.
Yeah, second time in a row, Huhi's ultimates have not been able to lock down key members. Ends up a bit isolated and presents someone that, at the end of the day, it's Licorice who drops, trying to get him out of there. Bought enough time for Golden Guardians to get the Rift Herald, but the pressure is completely relieved now. And you can see instantly BDS able to get some turret damage down on the bot side. Nuke actually teleporting down there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a case of can River respond with the Rift Herald, like actually get some of this pressure back. At least Nuke TP and bot side. I don't think he'll be able to get this bot lane tower, especially with River in the area.
Nuke dash out to safety. Knockup will not connect. River obviously would love to get something. You played against Bel'Veth, you know this. Herald, very important for Bel'Veth, so it's not just a normal Herald, it's a Bel'Veth Herald. Really want to make sure you value that.
I think it's going to be a take two here, though, where Golden Guardians like rotate mid, you get River into position, try and get this mid lane tower down. Dragon in 30 seconds, like try and get the mid lane turret down. You can move in towards River there, set up your vision significantly easier, but I think with the amount of ultimates that they have down, it doesn't look like they're as confident to try and push forward there.
I think that's really important to call out because, again, Huhi is a very squishy boy. The Fate's call got him out of jail there for an engage that ultimately wasn't super effective, as well as the life of Licorice. He does not have that luxury this time around. The Pop Blossom will be available, so creative angles, turning into minions, maybe he can make it work, but the ulti won't be there from Stixxay.
Yeah, BDS, I think, knowing the long timer on the Kalista ultimate, are trying to contest some good chip damage there, though, onto Labrov as the key engager for BDS to chunk him out early on.
And this is kind of where Maokai shines, right? Where you want to try and get that space back. You throw in a couple of these saplings, force Golden Guardians back, try and get space. But again, you can see Nuke moving up towards his top side. Looks like BDS are like, look, we're just going to trade. It's only second dragon for Golden Guardians. It's not going to be too much value. And we can instead look to try and push elsewhere. But Adam, he's now caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, the minions are coming in, so River's going to finish off this objective by himself, and it'll be a 3-man collapse onto Adam, who is not particularly tanky. Does have the Strive Breaker finish. Actually, he's going to hop onto Stixxay.
Just cleanses, just starts to walk him down. Is he just going to have a Garen moment? He is! He is! He did the math! He knew and he will die for it! But that's just Garen things, baby.
Oh, he attacks Golden Guardians as they try and go for a pincer move. He picks one person, singles him out. Stixxay draws the short straw, getting too close to Adam, who just runs him down. They still grab the turret. They still have pressure, but that is a nice little take back from Adam.
BDS can count. They can do math. They clearly, they can run at you. They can run at you. What can't they do? Right now, defend mid lane is the answer. So the Herald will push in. The second charge shouldn't come through here as Crownie leaps in to try to hit the eye. Will be denied. Overall, gold lead still to the side of GG, but a bit of a fumble there from Stixxay to get caught out.
Yeah, a couple little stumbles here out of Golden Guardian so far. You have, obviously, the Rift Herald that went a little sour. Then you have this play. And these are the kinds of things that can get very dangerous against a team comp like BDS, where they can slowly not let the gold lead extend too much. It's still 3.5, which is where it's been for, it feels like, the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this was just...
How do we break this one down? He pushed his Q.
I don't know why Stixxay goes for this.
He pushed his E, and then he pushed R. Ladies and gentlemen, Garen, dab.
But the thing is, Stixxay shouldn't have pushed it. Like, he had the wave coming. He
wanted to escort the wave in to make sure that Adam couldn't cut the wave, and then, you know...
Garen is a math problem, and he did the math wrong, and it happens to everyone, because if you don't play against Garen, you forget how much damage this champion does. That's just the reality of it.
No one plays it, so it must not be good.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm saying that's like the mindset.
That's like the mindset. Yeah,
it's like, I don't see this, so it can't be that strong.
True.
Oh, Nuke. Gonna find River
out here. Ooh, clean sidestep. Nuke, where's the dash gonna go? The knockup now coming through. Nuke surely dead. Flash to safety. Dash! It's clean! The backstep! But it's not enough because here comes River. He's just gonna slap him with his slappy hands and find the kill.
This is a good job from Golden Guardians. Like, they've been playing BDS every time they overextended side lanes. Now Labrov might be overextended as well.
This knockup, empowered Blasco. We'll take him out to safety. Well played by Golden Guardians to convert that kill. Nuke tried his hardest to make it out. They do get the flash as well and still managed to find it.
Yeah, BDS, again, playing to the flip side of the map, getting some pressure down there, but Licorice being more respectful, backing off that situation. I think they did finish off the top turret during that, potentially, so not at the end of the world, and the little spawnlings of River were not enough of a push to then get the bot turret. Because that's the concerning thing when you die in a side lane versus Bel'Veth when she's in that form, is there's this giant wave of creeps behind you, and you end up having to recall 2 or 3 people to defend the push or something like that. But not the case there. Was not a stacked up wave.
All I'm saying is if Golden Guardians win Worlds, they should have a Bel'Veth skin that spawns little Golden Guardian fans. Just run down mid lane.
Skin designer
Anyone
Dracos.
who plays Bel'Veth wins World, please. That's all I want. But for right now, River having a hell of a turnaround in this game. And again, credit to Golden Guardians. When we talk about their veterancy, this is what we want to see, this adaptation, not being phased by what could have been mental boom after a game 1 that BDS favored. And BDS weathering the storm for now, holding on, but certainly Golden Guardians still very much favored in the game overall.
Yeah, I think Gori has had a much better bounce-back game this time around, not making any mistakes, following up on the rest of the team's plays quite well. I think huhi is someone who is, a great mood maker for the team. No matter how bad things get, he's always laughing, always smiling, finding ways to keep people's spirits high. And like you said, they've been in some tough positions before, and this team is no stranger to having to bounce back, and that's exactly what they managed to do in Game 2 here, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'm much more reserved with the lead than actually within a loss. Like I don't want to curse something that's going good.
Oh, knockback, walked away from Labrov. The interrupt coming through there, just the edge. He's now forced to ult and try to run out to safety. Gets out with the quickness.
So this is one of the problems that they're going to start bumping into here for BDS when you have Adam without the teleport. Licorice can split down to the top side, or bot side, excuse me. Your 4v4 is winning up in the top side, chunking people low, and Adam is stuck between defending something he can't honestly defend against Licorice because how far ahead he is, but you're also not very useful if the side of Golden Guardians just respects the fact that you went to the Baron.
And I think that's the downside of a pick like this. If you don't end up with a lead it's just not going to be as valuable. You're not going to have that teamfight presence as much as a K'Sante, and also you're not getting that pressure on the map, as to say, to try and force the difference with the Ignite. So BDS definitely in a difficult position here. I think it is going to be a case of, all right, well, next Dragon's up. Can we try and contest this? I mean, Rabadon's death cap not completed for Nuke. He only just picked up his second needlessly large rod. Yes, he got 2 items onto Crownie, but this again could just be a case of, right, like, hands off the wheel, lads. We're going to go to the opposite side of the map, see if we can get Nuke a bit more gold, and hope we can fight 4th Dragon.
And this is why getting that 1 Dragon was critical, because otherwise you're looking at Soul Point right now. If Golden Guardians did not miss-execute there, you are forcing, it is Chemtech Soul again, not the end of the world, but still a huge acceleration. And here, BDS can sit back, wait for that next 800, 600 gold that Nuke is going to need to finish off that death cap before really starting to fight at the actual Soul Point.
Yeah. Stalling out the game, again, BDS are no strangers. They're a team that can generally pretty comfortable executing in teamfights once they do have that itemization. Golden Guardians still have a ton of tools, still have a lot of ways to shut that down. I think this Taliyah, the combination with the Neeko, there's a lot that can be done here for Golden Guardians as we get later. I think they're still in control, but honestly, credit to BDS. You know, I'm not a big fan of the Maokai after all the nerfs, but one of the things that it is doing for them right now is just keep some amount of relevant vision control at all times. The fact that they're able to comfortably push in and take control of Baron without mid-prio is because you can just throw a cat in the bush first. You're not risking anything. It's easy approach, and it's letting them hold on in this game longer than they maybe should be able to at a gold deficit.
Yeah, I do think this is really smart from BDS, though, which is like give Golden Guardians enough of a lead where they believe in themselves and then crush it immediately. So when you get into game 3, it's not as bad, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Labrov, though, giving them that false hope here again as he backs away.
Yeah. He's on a mission.
Yeah.
He's boosting their DPM stats. He felt bad after game 1. He's like, here you go.
He's like, I didn't mean to do more damage than you, Gori. That was
oh, no, we don't talk about that.
It's okay. I think we're eating crow here on this one. Like, we just have to accept that it's turned around.
It's not quite as embarrassing. It's 4 minutes later than when Golden Guardians actually lost game 1, but it is, I think, hopefully more indicative of how this series is going to go than the game 1. As much as I would love to 3-0 smash BDS as an NA fan, I think I'm really excited to just see a good series. Since there's people talk about this, there's only been 4. I think this is the 4th best of 5 ever between NA and EU at the official Riot Games events, MSI or Worlds. And so it's really cool. I know technically this is not World, but it is very, very nice to have this matchup again and have fans something to root for.
If we all, as NA and EU fans, just say it's Worlds enough, does it become Worlds?
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, you know?
We're going to win the first best of 5 at Worlds.
True.
There you go.
Oh, I like this. Okay, please let this work. Actually, I'm sorry, BDS fans. It's just so funny if it does.
I think I've seen enough huhi camouflages to not like them.
I mean,
he's like 0 for 3 right now.
Kind of there as well.
He waits. He is the honey fruit. He has become the honey fruit. I am sweet. I am delicious.
You want to hit me? Wait. No, you don't.
All right. Jig is up. It's going to have to get out of there. And again, relatively quiet. I think at this stage, Golden Guardians have a big lead. They're 5K ahead, but they still have to be careful and respectful around these objectives. Their clear speed's pretty solid with River and Stixxay available. Their control is solid, but the potential for a Maokai ult or an Azir to disrupt everything and turn this game around is still there.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, a lot of that lead is going to be on top side, right? And no doubt.
X-Flash?
No doubt, like, that is going to be a problem. But I think when you're looking at, well, Rabadon's death cap now completed for Nuke. 2.5 items, like Crownie working up towards that Shrill is like, Crownie's actually quite strong, and so is Nuke. So when you get towards these team fights, yes, there is that massive difference in the top laners that they'll have to overcome, but like the DPS for BDS is still there.
And they don't have great Baron threat from a tanking perspective, so while they can do it quickly, potentially, they're going to take a lot of damage. And if BDS is just there to hover around until it's at like 3K and then jump on you, and like you said, Licorice is most of the gold lead and he's not there, it does become kind of hard for Golden Guardians to force that down. So I think they're more than happy to wait for Soul Point, and so instead, BDS are the ones with the vision control forcing this.
And setup is big here. So if they can force Golden Guardians to walk forward, good on the Golden Guardians to have the diligence to take their time here. Use the Weaver's wall first. Ulti already burned for the Maokai, but it's 4K and it's getting lower. Adam off to the side, just trying to isolate the carries. Eyes on the objective, 2K is getting lower. Now you have to steal it, it has to be taken away. Sheo manages to get it, it's just a coin flip, but it comes up heads for BDS. GG now need to get something back in the fight. River on the side, trying to survive, but he does get caught out. Licorice getting lower and lower. Nuke and Crownie together versus the world, and here comes the Garen. BDS again finding the angle. It was all good for Golden Guardians, but they can't find the smite. They can't find the fight, and BDS bring it back.
Give them false hope. Just put them in their place. You said already, BDS are like, hell no, you're not taking this game. What a comeback for BDS.
That was a very, very good fight. And Adam, of all people who had fallen out of the game by a lot of people's standards, able to set in the backside, sit there and just make it difficult for Gori and Stixxay to follow up on the front side dive. You see him sitting in this brush here, and he's just so annoying because ideally you want to run forward in that pit while Sheo's caught out and punish the Maokai, but Gori and Stixxay get distracted by him. They're too slow to follow up on the rest of the team. He's kind of 1v2ing while Labrov finds this excellent flank. Huhi has no follow-up now. They're just split all over the map, and it's very easy for the front to back double carries to have no threat on them and just run through the fight.
Yeah, and this might confirm as well there from Sheo, making sure that they actually get the Baron. And the thing is, as you said, like Neeko and Crownie, they are so strong at the moment. So while Sheo goes down as everyone on Golden Guardians focuses them, that just leaves the two DPS characters to just do what they want to on the backline.
And I think heads-up recognition from BDS that if they pull them in a straight 5v5, that they're still strong, because before that fight, the strongest point was still Licorice, but K'Sante's relevance in these late-game fights against so many good backliners is often finding a flank. When you force him to walk straight into you, things look a lot better. 5.5k, Baron power play. That's a good number for BDS fans. The gold is now dead even, so after this brief window of time where BDS have the advantage, fights are going to look a lot closer.
Even getting some of that early goal, or more goals, on towards Adam as well is huge, because now he actually has a bit of map pressure to try and push against K'Sante, which shuts down a lot of what Golden Guardian's strength was. But BDS playing around this bot side, they want to try and have Nuke push in bot, but also still contest this soul in 10 seconds. So that's why they're trying to keep Golden Guardians at bay in this mid lane, keep priority there, and stop them from pushing in.
Bottom side of the map, Nuke a clean backstep. Brief moment there, just
feed less clean of a backstep?
Yeah, maybe. You just got to jiggle it every once in a while. That is
cool.
You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Oh, and that's the objective now taken down. That's going to be Soul for GG. Is it going to be enough? However, going in, getting the reset, but will get taken down. Licorice as well, just trying to make it out to safety, but he's got nowhere to go. Shutdown coming through as well. Adam spinning, finding one, but getting taken down. Stixxay, Gori, what can they do in this exchange?
They are backing off, I think, right now. The Baron usage, they already got 5,000 goldie, but for Golden Guardians, it's pretty huge to actually have this soul point in your side. So if you can weather this Baron, keep the gold lead close to even, of course, BDS has better scaling, but the copium angle now is at least you have the soul point locked down for your team. Yeah, I think the sad part is that two of your members died in that place, and now you get to push in on bot side. They're already contesting mid as well, so you're going to lose a lot of map pressure here for Golden Guardians. So actually trying to step outside your base is going to become quite tough. At least Gori has push in top side to kind of help that, but that's going to be the next point of attack. So here you see the secure. The rest of the team was kind of helping out. Nuka felt like and got a little distracted from just securing that, and River does give his life with Licorice to actually go ahead and grab that, but on the backside of the fight, Adam was again trying to focus on the carries. He gets one, to be fair, and yet again, it feels like at least he'll always be going 1 for 1. So he's going to be a big problem for the rest of this game.
Huhi's life sucks, is the truth, because no matter how strong his carries are, he's always getting one shot by that Darius.
And to be fair, his carries are not like great tank punching champions necessarily, so if Adam is able to kind of just, put the resist on you, run at them, they're not going to burn you down super quickly, and you can usually get a fair amount of damage out no matter what.
All right. But here we are. The gold, slightly in favor of BDS. The soul, in favor of Golden Guardians. And this is exactly what we wanted. A closer matchup. Maybe not exactly how you wanted it. You would have liked this in Game 3,
you
perhaps,
this,
after the start.
You happy, Mark?
You can't see him, but his face is doing that thing it does when you eat a lemon. Not that you would eat a lemon for any particular
I'm
reason.
enjoying this. I'm a professional caster for Riot Games. I enjoy all League of Legends equally.
I'm happy.
I will say, for BDS, it is a cool story to have them here trying to make it into Worlds after being such a young team, falling short in the reverse sweep in Spring Split to miss MSI, give that spot over to Mad Lions. It is cool to see them having this shot at redemption here to take down also just a regional rival in a sense, or inter-regional rival.
Yeah. Is it a rivalry?
I thought the last best of 5 between these regions was won.
Is their region LCS? Is our region LEC? It's a rivalry. I don't care. That's how it works. Those are the rules.
There's plenty of rivalries which are one-sided, to be fair, in sports. It's very common.
Yeah. Credit to BDS for rising up. Obviously, for the organization last year, one of the most abysmal years ever. Bringing it back this year, relying a lot of that LFL talent, keeping Nuke around. Didn't start the strongest, but spring has been incredible, and now showing that they can just continue to improve. For players like Crownie, who have been around for a long time but never found that big success, this is a massive opportunity, and so far it's going pretty well. Again, your Worlds run starts if you win this series. So still a ways away from making any progress there. Yeah, I think obviously the winner of this going up against Team Wales is going to be a very interesting one. But it definitely feels like this is kind of the, hey, look, if we can get this,
we're kind of up against what should be easier competition. So I think this is kind of really where for a lot of these teams, both these teams, this is your
Crownie, over. Team a little bit split here. Golden Guardians don't quite have the fault they need to get the Weaver's wall to work. BDS just backing away. The ulti. All right. Pull through as huhi just continues to send fake friends forward to body block skill shots. Golden Guardians getting corralled slowly but surely. Adam over the wall has to be respected.
huhi quite low as well. Just taking so much chip damage over and over again by both Crownie and Sheo, just landing these saplings so annoying. And I like the idea of Golden Guardians to try and jump and make that play happen before the Baron spawn, but BDS had a really nice disengage, and now they're able to fall right back to it.
The thing is, though, they haven't got Adam as... oh, well, I was going to say Adam's on the bottom side here, so separated again. So it just makes it very hard for GG to try and fight this forward, like have that split coming through again.
This is too late. Golden Guardians are walking into this, but it doesn't matter. The Baron's just already down. River slowly but surely getting chunked out. Crownie now going in. River's set to fall. Flashing over the wall, but Crownie's still going to be able to finish the kill off there. Nuke now going in, and BDS just taking over. Golden Guardians caught lacking on the Baron play. They just were not ready. They could not find the angle to contest, and as a result, this fight is going horribly. Licorice now able to pull Sheo back. Will it be an escape, or can he find the kill? The Power Blast coming as well, trying to isolate and at least take out the jungler while the rest of BDS barrels down the mid lane. Now looking to help, looking to back up. Sheo still standing for now, but they will grab one in return. Shut down for Licorice.
Still a huge play out of BDS there, being able to grab the Baron, find those kills, now continue the push right after. You have to feel like this is the second win, just waiting to happen for BDS. They might not be able to end it right now, but at the very least get this inhibitor down, but they want to go for it.
Adam immediately just going to go in. He's just doing Garen things. Chemtech Soul keeping Stixxay alive, but just barely as BDS again break through the base of the Golden Guardians. Moments away from match point. Golden Guardians finally ready to mount a defense, but it is too little. It is too late. 2-0 start for BDS.
Oh, too easy for EU in this one. BDS, it looks a bit dicey to get the get-go, but honestly, this has been a fantastic performance from them coming in with the comeback.
I mean, recovered very well, and I think clearly comfortable playing around the Golden Guardians composition. You know, respected the cooldowns. Once the Weaver's wall was down, were willing to make an aggressive play. Knew when they wanted to pick the fights. And I think really just the desync on when ultimates were available to connect those objectives cost Golden Guardians so much around the Baron.
I think a lot of people will talk about the Baron as the big turning point, which it is, but I think the little steps by BDS to get there, such as interrupting the dragon stacking, finding those little 1v1 trade kills back, Adam finding that kill on Stixxay when he was dead to rights on the turret, those kinds of plays stem the bleeding so you can get to the point where at Baron you're still only 3k down. It's not 5 or 6k and you're taking an impossible fight. It's actually a very winnable fight from that position. So I think that stuff was really critical as well.
And I think this is where the frustration starts to build if you're a Golden Guardians fan, because it was very apparent in Game 1 when Gori made those mistakes that was the oopsie. Now we see the same thing in Game 2 with Stixxay, where it's like there's just these little mistakes you can't afford to be making in this high-stakes game that are costing so much in the long run, even if ultimately the Baron is the most obvious, flashy thing that went wrong. However, that's enough from us from the caster desk. Let's hear more from the analyst desk on what exactly happened in that Game 2.
So we're saving Mark, huh?
Get him off the plane! You know what? Honestly, I was laughing so loud when Dagda just dropped that "it's too easy" at the end. To see him dancing and boogieing there, I'm so sorry, Mark. At Res, however, I'm not sorry because I'm over the moon. Going into that game, the way it started, I started to get nervous. I told the entire production team, everyone behind the camera here, it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah.
So, Res, why wasn't it 1-1? Let's bring the Baron throw up, because it was indeed a Baron throw, a burger flip from our North American brothers, and you break it down, Res.
Yeah, they learned from the best, and sadly, we're just not showing it. Adam really threatened the backline a lot, so anytime Golden Guardians tried to stop the Baron push from happening, we didn't really have anything to stop Adam from coming through, so, of course, Kalista tried to separate herself from the team to force Adam away, but by that point, they got completely crushed.
And I also think this is where some of the compositional differences hit the play. I know Stixxay will probably catch a lot of flack for this game, specifically on the Kalista, but let's talk about it. Who does he realistically speaking hit? Do you ever get in range of Azir? No. Are you hitting the Ezreal?
Maokai
no.
or Garen
What are your
frontline?
options?
Yeah.
Rakan, Maokai, and Garen. And what do those champions want to do?
Yes.
They want to be on top of your face. So it was just super easy for them to, once the team fight and Baron broke loose and Sheo secured that, which was huge because Zach has easily gone over to River, they out-teamfight them, and they get back into the game, and once that happened, there was no way back for Golden Guardians.
I was screaming at these two guys backstage saying that even though Golden Guardians had a lead, compositionally, I did not believe in their ability to actually play out those team fights. Now, I don't think we got a proper straight-up 5v5 team fight, right? Because it was a Herald fight early in the game, it was a Baron fight, both of which our boys did pretty well at the end of the day. And ultimately, BDS came out on top. Let's zoom out and talk about the rest of the game. Just before we do, I want to quickly apologize for the issues that our feed has faced during the last game. Our production team is working behind the scenes. We are working on some of our backup connections between here and Seoul, and we're hopefully we are hopeful that the problems will be resolved, but we are working on that. So let's zoom out. Let's talk a little bit more about how things changed this time around. Gulborg, this time, Licorice had a better time in the top lane.
Oh, absolutely. And it looked like that with Sheo and Adam coming up there. They were looking to try and at least equalize on an level it, not an advantage, but trying to get Adam level 6. You can see that Licorice hits it here, and Licorice hasn't backed yet. The reason the lane state is like this is because Adam just ran up and ignited him because he wanted to set the freeze up. He wanted to have Licorice in this position with Sheo pathing up there, but I don't know what the XP was like here if he still missed one minion to hit level 6. If Adam hits 6 here, Licorice dies, but they messed it up somehow, and when the level 6 didn't come through from the Garen, Licorice takes over.
Yeah, and Maokai was so far behind from what happened early on in the level 1 from the Bel'Veth, constantly invading him, that was just so much easier for, honestly, to get ripped apart by the Cassante.
But where I really think it becomes more weird from here on is how Adam tries to influence the rest of the map with his Garen, because he's like, well, top lane is kind of lost now. How do I actually have a different impact on the map now? And while he's trying to do what he had so much success with in other stages of LEC, you're not playing a champion with CC right now. You're literally just leaving lane, standing there at time as well, walking into XP range of some of your laners as well, hindering their lane. This one was the most random, where you don't even get any solo play for yourself either. You're just walking up there with the enemy just being able to run you down. You don't have the proper vision set up for it either. Licorice probably thinking to himself, what the hell is Adam doing mid lane? I'm going to fast boost in my top lane now. River can hover, and now he's just out of the game, or at least he should have been out of the game. He keeps doing this. He keeps falling behind, but this should have been an L.
We see this a lot. The casters even talked about it, both Dragged and Drake.
It happens, but the thing is, I want it to happen when it's
there's
more...
a reason for it.
Exactly, when there's reason for it. This was 1 minute before Drake. It's not him coming down on a good timer for Drake to take a good team fight. It's him walking down, standing on a ward, looking there. No sweeper, no ping ward, and then just like,
Obviously, both Gulborg is very animated. I'm very excited about this. I'm not surprised to see this. What I want to know is, how do you interpret this, right? Because you may not know that quite how often Adam does these decisions. Like, is that confusing? Is that something that could throw GG off?
It can throw them off, and I think in that specific roam, at first I was critical because I was like, you're gonna miss XP. He didn't end up missing much XP on that one, and on top of that, they ended up actually the small bits and pieces cutting into the Drake stacking in from Golden Guardians. With the composition that they had from Kalista, the Taliyah mid lane, and of course the pretty squishy mage in the bot side of the map in Neeko, like, you need to actually get to the third stack. Obviously the Drake wasn't the best, but the fact that it took longer, now they have more time, BDS, to be able to find holes for Golden Guardians. They found the opportunity in Baron, but the fact that they lengthened the game was a positive. So they got the vision set up a lot easier because of the roam.
A small thing as well is that the Golden Guardians early game leads didn't cover a lot of team efforts. It was a lot of mistakes that was then punished, but if you look at the kill participation, it wasn't necessarily because a lot of members linked up and created a play. It was more catching BDS when they were making a mistake. And going into the mid game, it felt like they had a hard time as well replicating it, then finding the way that they got leads, because BDS didn't give them more mistakes to punish them.
I've got to quickly move on. I want to pull up the draft as we discussed this last point. Golden Guardians have selected red side now for game 3. Potentially their last of even making it to the World Championship. This is not Worlds. This is the qualifying series to get you into Worlds. As we look at this draft with less than 90 seconds to go, Gulborg, I'm going to come to you first. I think the draft from GG is surprising. We were discussing how creative they were game 1 to game 2. I think the weird and wacky is not working out for them, and I think BDS is just playing a little bit more fundamentally clean, and why they're 2-0 up. What do you expect to go to game 3?
I think the Golden Guardians need to come through with a different intention with that draft, because this is too short range. The Taliyah first pick does not work, even as a flex pick. It's good into Jace and has been a good answer, but when you don't see that come through, when you see an Azir coming through, you have to bend the Ori, you have to bend the Syndra. That's already 2 other pool. He still has the Azir, and Taliyah's still useless against that. So if you want to perfect it, you almost need 3 bans, and that's not worth it. Get that out of the way and build a more whole composition, because they've been coming through with too many random things instead of something where Golden Guardians could actually play League of Legends.
Yeah, there's small bits and pieces, even in the draft. The fact that they banned the Renekton because they know if they're first picking Taliyah, that BDS is going to go for a Renekton themselves. So they're not even going to get that combination that is so well known from the Taliyah side for a three-wave stack dive top lane. So they're not getting it. They're moving it away. That's actually an indication that they agree that it's not as high of a priority for them now. So I'm interested to see what the pick is. If they see a Taliyah picked out by BDS,
Guys,
they've seen how good Maokai is.
I'm going to give you one last chance.
I'm ready.
5 seconds, 10 seconds. What do you say to Golden Guardians coming into game 3? What message, what one or two thoughts do you have? How nervous are you that this series is over?
The first message I'll say is, LOL Park's pretty nice. I'm glad the series is starting. I'm excited for the series to start.
Just before we go, Coolbug, I'm going to need you to trust me, but do I have consent to touch you?
Absolutely, bro.
Fantastic. If I can get Jack to put the camera back on the wide for me, just as we're about to head to break. It turns out I need to stand up, my friends. We are moments away from a BDS 3-0. Let's go. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you, brother.
Disgusting. Get this out of here.
Yeah, you can go now. It's fine. We'll
Just go step by step. Just be ready to play 5 games, guys, okay?
I would rather finish it in 3 games.
Yeah, me as well.
Sante should be fine in the trade thus far. Sheo doesn't really have the damage yet. Only level 3. This man's just chopping the trees down. He's a lumberjack and he's looking for 2. Adam blinking, but he will walk away. But here comes Gori finding redemption in game 2.
Nice! Let's go!
Where's the